several Caribbean community leaders who have contributed their services in various areas of the community. Congressman Soto will read the honorary certificates and ask you to speak once he calls your name. Please press *6 on your phone to unmute yourself. You can press the unmute button on the top right-hand corner of your video image. I would now like to introduce Congressman Soto and begin the Caribbean Heritage Ceremony.
Thank you so much, my Caribbean sister, Vivian Rodriguez. It's great to see so many friends to help celebrate Caribbean Heritage Month today and recognize some of the distinguished members of the Caribbean community across Central Florida that do so much to help out our fellow citizens across this region. The Constitution in Article 1, Section 5 requires Congress to keep a journal of its proceedings. Different versions of the congressional record date as far back as our Constitution from 1789. And it was first published in its modern form in 1873. The congressional record is really a chronicle of our nation's history with its triumphs and struggles. But both in good times and bad times, we have recorded this history unvarnished. Generations will look back and see the great debates being had in our country over COVID-19 pandemics, over the economic issues, over critical reforms led by the unfortunate murder of George Floyd and the Black Lives Matter movement. And your life stories, they will read them as well, because they will be part of this congressional record, and you will be included in this shared American history of ours. The most rewarding thing about tonight is the stories. Each of yours remarkable and well-deserving to be recognized in Congress's official record. I'd be remiss if I didn't recognize the challenges and victories that we have experienced in the Caribbean community even today. I'm a proud member of the bipartisan Congressional Caribbean Caucus, led by Congresswoman Stacey Plaskett, delegate from the Virgin Islands, and by Jennifer Gonzalez-Colon, resident commissioner of Puerto Rico. We have worked over the past few years on some key issues affecting the multitude of Caribbean islands, particularly relief from hurricanes and earthquakes. We saw the Bahamas hit very hard last year. Puerto Rico and the Virgin Islands hit several years before that. Recent earthquakes hitting both Puerto Rico and Jamaica, and Haiti also experiencing issues related to hurricanes. We've also worked on economic development because jobs are so important to help with so many other issues facing our communities, including foreign aid funding to support tourism and agriculture, including especially tropical fruits and vegetables, promoting trade programs to boost popular fashion and music from the Caribbean, and local manufacturing like rum production, pharmaceuticals, and medical devices. We also saw a landmark ruling from the Supreme Court this week upholding the Daca program. Yay, I know how many people are so excited about that. We know how many folks of Caribbean heritage, how many young people aspiring, living out the American dream are protected under that program. I am hopeful we will see an expansion of that program and for it to be passed into law. As you all know, we passed the Dream and Promise Act already out of the House, which does just that, gives dreamers a pathway to citizenship, as well as folks who are here under temporary protective status. This is of crucial importance to our Haitian community. Many folks have been here 10 to 20 plus years and call Florida their home. I'm proud to fight and continue to help lead the charge with letters to protect the status, the TPS status of the Haitian community here in Florida. We also are fighting to help expand the status for TPS for Venezuelans, though not an island nation of the Caribbean, obviously in the vicinity, but we also know we have to ultimately have a comprehensive immigration reform. And should we see changes in leadership over this next election, I think we'll have a much better chance of doing a lot of those long-term items. We also are doing a lot on the civil rights front to proclaim unequivocally that Black Lives Matter with the Justice and Policing Act of 2020. It bans chokeholds and no-knock warrants. It makes civil rights claims easier to bring. We established independent prosecutors so that we don't have this good old boy and girl system where people are not likely to bring claims or prosecute them independently. It bans racial profiling on the federal level, which is amazing that that hasn't happened yet. It creates a national police misconduct registry to stop bad cops from being able to go to other departments, other police departments across the nation. It stops the militarization of the police force by banning tanks and other equipment like that that's more appropriate for our military, and makes lynching a federal crime. We know that the vast majority of our law enforcement every day protect and serve and do great work in our community. But we do know that there is a minority of folks in police departments who've helped contribute to this issue. And lastly, it creates best practice recommendations based upon President Obama's 21st Century Policing Task Force. All critical issues we know we share among the Caribbean community to make sure all of our brothers and sisters are protected equally under the law. And as we face these many challenges together, it's more important now than ever to recognize the contributions of Caribbean Americans and to continue our advocacy together to make America a more perfect and equal union. And so I'm so happy to be able to highlight the amazing work being done every day by our Central Florida Caribbean leaders. In honor of Caribbean Heritage Month, we would like to honor Ganae Gittins Robert. We'll do our Zoom applause since obviously I'd prefer to be here in person with everybody, but we're going to do everything we can to keep everyone safe. Ganae Gittins Roberts is CEO of GGR Marketing and Public Relations, a company which currently markets and or produces some of the largest Caribbean festivals in Orlando, including the Caribbean Fusion Festival in Kissimmee, which I've been to many times, the Orlando Carnival Downtown, and the Caribbean American Heritage Month Festival. She's responsible for developing and directing their communication strategy, while also managing the agency's outreach to advertising, charitable, and business communities. GGR Marketing and Public Relations was formed to develop and execute programs aimed at reaching multicultural communities and niche markets, utilizing an effective mixture of relationship marketing, event marketing, and branding through social media and traditional media sources. They offer a broad range of services that include marketing, public relations, branding, special event planning and management, sponsoring and fundraising, business development, and media relations. Gittin Roberts also is the publisher of Caribbean American Passport News magazine, the largest and only Caribbean-owned statewide newspaper in Florida. Caribbean American Passport is heading into its 10th year in September and covers the people of the English, French, and Spanish communities in Florida. Through their publishing arm, they were responsible for the publication of Misión Boricua, a Spanish publication designed to raise awareness for the Puerto Rican community to vote in the 2016 election. As an active member of the community, Gittins Robert serves as president of the Caribbean American Chamber of Commerce. She also served as vice president of the Central Florida Association of Black Journalists, vice president of the Guyanese American Cultural Association of Central Florida, in addition to being actively involved in Greater Orlando Cares and United Foundation of Central Florida two organizations focused on youth mentoring programs. And for that, Ms. Gane Gittens-Roberts, we honor you.
Thank you. Thank you, guys. Thank you so much.
Would you like to say a few words?
Well, you know, as I look out and I see a few people that I work with in the community, I am just pleased to get this honor bestowed upon me. I do what I do because I love it. I want to raise the profile of the Caribbean American community here. I've done a lot of what I've done because I wanted to show my children what the Caribbean community is really like. And so, you know, this is just an honor upon work that I love to do. So thank you for that.
It's our pleasure. And I do want to mention, we've also been active in seeking fair elections in Guyana. I know it's something that's very important to a lot of you.
Yes.
I wanted to mention that right off the bat. We just signed on to a letter, in fact, this past week, with a lot of members of the Foreign Affairs Committee in the House. So very important part of the Caribbean platform that we're working on. So thank you, Ms. Gittens-Roberts.
Thank you.
In honor of Caribbean Heritage Month, we would like to recognize Lloyd Phillips. Lloyd Phillips was born in Guyana and relocated to the United States with his parents and siblings in 1969. He completed his high school education in Brooklyn, New York, where his quest for higher learning led him to enroll at Brooklyn College. He attained a bachelor's degree in economics and then went to Long Island University, where he graduated with an MBA in finance. Lloyd worked at Barclays Bank before being hired at the #1 investment banking firm, Goldman Sachs and Company, where he worked in the special accounts department. Lloyd subsequently worked his way up to supervising manager of the special accounts trading desk. Lloyd's career at Goldman Sachs ended during an economic downturn, and he decided to embark on a career change, joining the ranks of uniformed services in New York City. He rose to the rank of captain before taking an early retirement. With a young but growing family, Lloyd and his wife, Delilah, decided to relocate to Florida. Good choice. So their children can live in an environment better suited to their needs. The family settled in Kissimmee, where Lloyd is currently president of the Caribbean and Floridian Association. He was also the president of the Commonwealth Alliance Association, vice president of the Guyanese American Cultural Association, president of the Guyanese American Diaspora United, and vice president of the Stratford Park Homeowners Association. He was also appointed as an education resource ambassador by the University of Guyana, awarded a certificate of special congressional recognition presented by Congressman Hakeem Jeffries, the chairman of our caucus now, by the way, for his work with the Guyanese Cultural Association of New York, and recognized by the City of New York with a certificate of recognition presented by Council Member Matthew Eugene. And for that, Mr. Lloyd Phillips, we honor you. Would you like to say a few words, please? You're on mute, Lloyd.
I think I got it.
There you go. We can hear you. We can hear you now.
Okay, very good. Congressman Darren Soto, I want to thank you and your staff, especially Vivian Rodriguez, for reaching out and acknowledging the work that I've done in the community. But before I would go further, I'd like to compliment each and every other recipient here on the stage with me. I'm familiar with many of the individuals. They are hardworking folks in our community, and I'm happy to be on the stage with all of them. I just want to say my hard work started years ago as a youngster in Guyana before moving to New York City, where I continued my work in politics. And when I relocated to Florida, it was my passion to continue doing work in our great great community here in Kissimmee. Thankfully, we have a great leader in yourself who has reached out and done great work for the various Caribbean organizations in Kissimmee, Polk County, and around the entire Central Florida. And for that, we're all grateful for the work that you've done. I don't want to talk too much about me. I just let my work speak for itself. But I want to thank you for everything that you've done, and I know you'll continue to do. So I want to thank you very much for reaching out to me and honoring me with this great congressional certificate. On behalf of my family, the Caribbean and Floridian Association, we all want to thank you very much.
It's our honor. And we'll let the congressional record speak for itself too.
Thank you, Congressman Soto. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Mr. Lay. Okay, in honor of Caribbean Heritage Month, we would like to honor Rudolph Hyde. Pastor Dr. Rudolph M. Hyde is a native of the Caribbean island of Jamaica, the continent of Jamaica, as Nicole McLaren in my office would refer to it. She's of Jamaican descent too, who migrated to the United States of America and attended Polk State College, a fine institution, graduating with a degree in computer network engineering. He was also awarded an honorary degree of Doctor of Ministry from Isaiah University. Recognizing and nurturing the anointing and calling upon his life, Pastor Rudolph was ordained as an elder and has served in various leadership positions throughout the years. His love for ministry led him to start the Faith Temple Apostolic Ministries International Church in Eagle Lake, Florida in March 2014, and was ordained as the pastor. He is supported by his wife, Marlene, and 4 children. The church in Eagle Lake is a multicultural ministry serving the whole individual regardless of challenges or limitations. He believes there is nothing too difficult for God and believes that a voice in the community is a voice for hope and identity. Through the platform of his ministry, he has opened opportunities to work and help in the community by addressing the needs of the people. Over the years, the ministry has been able to provide food, clothing, and funds to the general public through the Feed the People program. For the last 6 years, the ministry has hosted a free public annual event known as Jamaica Day, bringing Caribbean culture, food, and music to the community of Polk County, which draws in hundreds of people annually. With his passion for giving back, Pastor Hyde also founded Hyde's Academy in Eagle Lake to provide computer and CPR training in the general community with the American Heart Association's support. He believes that there is nothing impossible that the human mind cannot accomplish if we work and unite together. Amen. And thank you, Pastor Hyde, for Caribbean Heritage Month. We honor you. Pastor Hyde, would you like to say a few words?
Thank you very much, Congressman Darren Scott Soto and all the staff. First, I'd like to just give honor to God, who has been my strength and my director. I'm really humbled in accepting this honor this afternoon. I would like to say thanks to my wife and my children for the support that they have given me over the years. Also, my dad, who has passed on. I know he's watching right now. And my mom, who has been supportive throughout the years, and also my brothers and sisters. Also, I would like to just congratulate all those honorees this afternoon. They have really worked in the community. I would like to also thank those who have made this possible. Special thanks to all the members and leaders of the Faith and Apostolic Ministries who have been with me throughout the years, have supported us in our endeavors. Thank you very much. I came to the United States about 17 years ago from a beautiful island of Jamaica, just a small country boy. I came here with all the opportunities, the possibilities. I have big dreams of what God has for my life. One thing I didn't imagine though is that He would call me for ministries and to serve in the community. So I'm really honored for this opportunity to serve. And I believe that the time is now for us to work together to make a difference, to impact change. And I believe that if we come together, we can do great things. Thank you very much. God bless.
Thank you, Dr. Hyde. And in these challenging times, I know our shared faith is so important. It's always important, but now more than ever, I think it's giving people the hope to soldier on during these difficult times. And so thank you for your spiritual leadership to our community.
Thank you very much.
In honor of Caribbean American Heritage Month, we would like to honor Romuald Oscar. Romuald Oscar is the founder of Sunshine Services Group, a financial and consulting firm serving Polk County since 2011. Romuald is an accountant and consultant at the firm where he works directly with individuals to examine the accuracy of financial statements and review financial records for tax filings. He also documents business financial transactions and compiles the necessary information to prepare entries for company accounts. Romuald provides short-term emergency loans to the people in his community, such as cash advances and payday loans. He also assists them with immigration services and processing, since Polk County has a large immigrant community that includes Haitians, St. Lucians, Jamaicans, Mexicans, and others. Romuald successfully sustains over 9 years in providing services to Polk County. As a leader, Romuald also stands with his community. He would volunteer to assist and help the people with various issues and concerns. He networks, seeks resources, and spots talent as he promotes his rich and colorful Haitian culture on Haitian holidays, and especially on Haitian Flag Day. Romuald has served as the president of the Haitian Association of Polk County since 2018 and contributes to several educational radio shows such as Radio Kalaloo, Radio Tonton, International, and Voix Communautaire. Yo puedo hablar en español, pero mi francés no está muy bueno. I can speak in Spanish, but my French is non-existent, so I did my best, Mr. Oscar, to inform, educate, and advise his community through Polk County and beyond. Romuald has a very strong academic background. He completed his courses in pursuit of a Doctor of Business Administration in Finance, and is currently working on his dissertation from Walden University. He holds both an MBA in accounting and bachelor's degree in government from Liberty University, where he took part in the Student Government Association and other social activities. Romuald Oscar is a respected and well-known name amongst the Polk County, Florida community. He is a powerful voice in the community and will continue a blazing trail for the progress of the people in professional settings. And for that, Mr. Oscar, we honor you. If you'd like to say a few words. Do we have Mr. Oscar on the phone?
He is here. Romel, you could just press *6 to unmute yourself.
Lee, if you want to repeat the instruction, we want to make sure Mr. Oscar has an opportunity.
Sure, Ramel, if you want to speak, please press *6 to unmute yourself.
Okay, can you hear me now?
Very
Yes.
well.
All right, perfect. I want to thank you, Congressman, for your work and your support for, to our community in Central Florida. It's an honor for me to be identified, to be recognized as a leader, and knowing that what you stand for in the Congress, your fight and your stand for the Caribbean community, especially the Haitian one. And I must tell you, today I received this honor, not just for myself, but I received it on behalf of everyone who contribute to make this country a great place. I refer to those who work in hotels, in cleaning, those who work in legal field, those who work in business field, those who work in medical field, and so on. And also I want to refer to those who came to the USA by 1779, who came and fought for the US Revolution. And they lost life, they were wounded, and one of them was Henry Christophe, who went back to Haiti to become president and later on king of Haiti. I also want to refer to Jean-Baptiste Point du Sable, who came from Haiti to settle to the USA and later become the founder of the great city of Chicago. For all of this, your Congressman, I want to thank you and thank you again.
Thank you, Mr. Oscar. We appreciate your amazing words. We know the Caribbean is as diverse as this country we call America. And it's so important to recognize and highlight and elevate all these diverse voices. We talked a little bit about a lot of the issues facing the Caribbean, and I'm excited that in Florida, it puts us in a good position to help lift up our brothers and sisters back on the islands. And so one of the big responsibilities we have in Central Florida and in Florida is living in such an important state. It really gives us an ability to make sure that the United States is holding up its duty to lift up not only our territories of Puerto Rico and Virgin Islands, but all the Caribbean nations. And we've made it a point to focus on foreign policy predominantly in the Caribbean, Central and South America, knowing that so many in Florida, we care deeply about it. Many of our heritages are from those areas, and they're our neighbors. And that is so important. We would be remiss if I didn't recognize that we have one of my close advisors on Caribbean matters, Karen Green, on the line. If it's okay with everybody, I want to give Karen a moment just to help to celebrate this event. She's just so amazing and knows just the right words to say on every occasion. So Karen, I see a lot of nods, so I think we're okay. If you wouldn't mind saying a few words, and then we're going to take a photo with everybody, and this will be available on our Facebook page, by the way, for everybody to share with our entire community.
My brother, Darren Soto, can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you loud and clear, sister.
Congratulations, everyone, my island people. I'm so honored to be here. Thank you so much for all the work you continue to do in my community. Dr. Hyde, again, I too would want to say thank you for your prayers and your dedication of faith. At a time like now, we know how we need this and we need it more. We are so blessed to have our brother, Congressman Darren Soto, as one of ours. I know we say this all the time, but he's truly, from where the Caribbean Sea touches the Puerto Rican touch, he's been an advocate for us, not just now, he continues to lead for us as a people. Central Florida, not just for the Floridians, but for every single person who's been in this country. the idea of TPS, the interests of our communities, the interests of immigration, agriculture, infrastructure, you name it. He's been at the front line protecting our interests. And so this afternoon, I continue to be so overwhelmed, my brother, for truthfully, you're the one of the only congressional people I know. And I say this because you know I know many that really have taken the interest in recognizing diversity and inclusion within our state and in our capital. Thank you so much, Congressman Soto. And for each of you on the phone, they are receiving these awards this evening. I know this is just the beginning of what we now face. We've seen some challenges, we've overcome some hurdles this week. But the strength of unity we have experienced as a company, as a group of people that have gone through the challenges, the challenges of not just climatic changes, but economic. Now we're facing even challenges of political crisis and upheavals in our region. I say this to us this afternoon, please recognize the fact that we are seeing some challenges, but we are seeing changes. Please be cautious in your communities. Remember to take heed with this coronavirus. I ask you in a special way to take care of be your neighbor's keeper. And before I go, my brother, we pray for you as well, for the work you continue to do. We pray that you will continue to be lifted up, and that each of us on this phone and on this recipient end of this great opportunity this afternoon, my brothers and sisters, the work is just beginning. You're recognized because of all your obligations, your commitments, but we thank you for all you've done. My brother Darren Soto, we're in this together. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Karen Green, and appreciate all your inspiring words. I want to once again thank and congratulate Gene Gittins Roberts, Lloyd Phillips, Romeld Oscar, and Rudolph Hyde for your amazing contributions to our community. We're going to now take a Zoom photo. Normally we take a lot of shots in person with the families, and we know right now we have to keep everyone safe. And so I believe Leah's going to be taking the photo for us, or Delaney. So if you want to open your mic so you can instruct everybody, we want to make sure to get everybody in it. And of course, this whole ceremony will be on our Facebook page. You should see it online by tomorrow, and feel free to share it with everybody.
All right, so I'm going to take one on the count of 3. So it'll be 1, 2, 3. Perfect.
And that's by Delaney Reyes, another Caribbean sister from Dominican Republic. So got to recognize on that one. Well, thank you, everyone. We're so proud to represent a diverse district, including so many of my fellow Caribbean Americans here in Central Florida. We do these to highlight so many heroes throughout the community that we want to make sure that to include you all in our shared American history. I hope all of you stay safe, healthy, and God bless you all. This concludes our ceremony, and I'll see you in person soon. Thank you so much.
Thank you.